Hello! Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 247, Groo, the Hogs of Horder. My name is Eric.
I'm Jason.
Howdy.
Howdy, buddy. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah.
It's starting to get dark out earlier,
Yeah.
and I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah, you like that, right?
Oh, I do
Yeah.
indeed.
I don't mind it, but I don't prefer it.
Why?
I just don't care. I don't give a what. It was cool last night. The moon and the sun were both out. I love that.
That sounds apocalyptic to me.
Yeah, well, that's why. That's why I love it. Because it's like, it's like all my favorite movies. 2012 and The Day After Tomorrow and
Twister.
Twister. It's like no joke. I've watched 2 of those 3 movies I just named in the last month.
Twister?
Yep.
It was 2012.
Yep. I can't get enough. It's a sickness. Oh man, have you seen Poseidon, the remake? Not this old one. I watched it 3 times in one day by myself every single time. Not recently, but like a couple years ago. Yeah.
Why?
We had 2 different commentary tracks. So as soon as it was over, I watched one of the commentary tracks, and as soon as that was over, I watched the other one. But I was drawing the whole time. I wasn't just like sitting there staring at the TV.
Sure.
But
still, I can't imagine watching the same movie twice in the same month.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've done it.
Right.
But I would prefer to be doing a different thing usually.
Well, I think it was one of those things where I was chilling on the couch, and I think Goo was probably asleep there, and I had the remote, and I had all my drawing stuff, and I was like, I don't want to watch it again, but if I watch it with commentary, it's sort of different.
Right.
And then when that was over, Goo was still chilling, and I was like, one more time.
Does that movie deserve 2 different commentary tracks?
I think one of them was the director, and one was like maybe the special effects guy or something.
Right.
And they both had completely different things to talk about.
Right.
But they could have both been in the same room.
Sure.
Probably.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But yeah, I liked it.
All right.
So what's new? What's up?
Nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
What are you doing today?
I read that comic book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Well, that's what we were supposed to do. So good job.
And I got to tell you, it was a chore.
Reading the comic book was a chore.
Yep.
Oh, foreshadowing.
No foreshadowing. Spoiler. Man, did I not like this comic book.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Was it because it was kind of preachy a little bit?
A little preachy. Definitely wordy.
Oh, yeah. Well, Groo was always wordy, though.
Okay. Also not funny.
Really? You didn't think it was funny?
I laughed maybe twice.
Right.
During the entire 4 issues.
And they were probably all on the back cover, single-page referto.
You know what? Those are the best things in each issue. I did find those enjoyable.
I won't argue that those are some of my favorite things. Like I love especially the silent 1-page comics. I love that. That's great. But yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a little more preachy than I expected a Groo miniseries to be, but I wondered when I realized that this one was being kind of preachy, I wondered if maybe because every other Groo thing I read was between like ages 8 and 15, that maybe I just didn't notice like a lot of social commentary or political commentary.
Right.
Maybe it was like lost on me because I was just like, yeah, he loves cheese dip and he just totally fucked up that boat on accident.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
I have never read Groo.
You've never read Groo?
I've never read Groo before this.
This blows my mind. I had no idea.
I had bought some, but I've never read them.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I don't think I own those anymore because I never read them. I just never got around to it.
Oh, man.
But, just consistently, the entire time that I've been a comic book reader and collector, just everyone everywhere just keeps saying that Groo is the funniest thing that has ever existed, and
right.
just one of the greatest comic runs of all time. They beat out Jack and Stan for the longest consistent running comic.
Mark and Sergio.
Yeah, Mark Evanier and Sergio Aragones. And so basically maybe it's the 20-some years of hype.
Right.
That has soured me on this, but I genuinely did not find much of it very funny at all.
Really? Yeah. That's wow.
After the third Groo sinks boats joke.
Right. But that's been a thing, like he's never been on a boat that he hasn't accidentally sank.
Okay. Well, then that makes it worse.
But you know what? I bet a lot of these things...
Because the third time in the first issue that it happens, I was already done with it.
Right. I bet it was one of those things, though, that they didn't expect to do that many Groo comics. Like, there was like 125 of them or something.
Right.
Which I read most of them. I mean, it was my favorite comic when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old. It was the first comic I ever wrote a letter to, was Groo, and they did not print it. I know.
So, it's another reason why I did not like this comic.
But no, it was so, like when I was a kid, it was so much fun because they had all these secret messages, and I totally thought this one was going to have one because, like at the beginning of every scene change, there's like a little narration scroll that, it's like this one on the first page says, on the northern border of somewhere. Yeah. And like that's the opening thing. And like the O and on, like the very first letter in the scroll here is giant and red. Mm-hmm. And then like I looked through and there was a bunch like that. And in the old series, they put secret messages in almost every single issue. They would either hide something in the artwork, like on a tree and like a lot of them were that, like the first letter of every narration bubble would spell out a word by the end of the issue. Mm. And like, and they had like little contests, like, did you catch the secret word? And there's all kinds of weird fun stuff. And I just thought it was a great, great comic. And, I enjoyed this one, but like you said, I mean, there was a lot of, like, it didn't get super, well, yeah, it kind of did get super preachy sometimes.
It got, I don't know, preachy is the word, but just, super, like, whatever they're trying to satirize in this is not so much satirization as it is just blatant.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not as much poking fun as just like, they just took these things from our world that they don't like and just put them in Groo's world.
Right.
Instead of making I mean, they are kind of ridiculous and exaggerated, but
not that much.
But not to the point where it's just like zany.
Right. I mean, it's the entire series is making fun of basically the last 10 years of America.
Like economy-wise.
Yeah, the failed economy, constantly going to war, just the fucked up,
the bank bailouts.
Bank bailout, the car companies bailouts.
Right.
Trading with China, just the whole, situation that we have with China in general.
Right.
In which we basically exploit their labor for cheap goods, and then now, then we borrowed money from them and now owe them a shit ton of money.
Right.
And how they're basically going to slowly take over the world.
Right.
And just how fucked up the government is and how they have screwed us over in the economy by bailing out the banks and the car companies who have not taken any of those lessons to heart.
Right.
And just use that bailout money to continue to screw over the general populace.
Right. Right. Business as usual.
Right. But instead, we also have a parody of Groo walking around and destroying things in the process.
Yeah.
And that just was not enough to make this any kind of fun to read.
Yeah, I had fun. I enjoyed it, but it was definitely amongst the lower ranking Groo stories I've ever read because of that. Like, it wasn't as much fun as it was just, like, I don't read a Groo comic to get depressed.
Right.
About, like, yeah, you're right, it's all fucked up, Groo. Wait a minute, what? This is Groo.
Right, yeah. I just, like I've said this before, I don't like it when my comics yell at me.
Yeah.
It's not my fault the economy got fucked up.
Right.
So why is Groo getting mad at me?
Yeah. That's a shame that this was your first Groo book, because now I'm thinking you'll never read another Groo book.
I probably won't.
And there are so many good ones. Like The Death of Groo, the graphic novel, is great. Or at least I remember it being great. It's been 20 plus years since I've read it. Man, yeah, I loved Groo, man. But,
sorry?
No, yeah, I mean...
but I think if it had even been slightly funny, like, I would have definitely been more open to it.
Right.
But, like, yeah, I just didn't find very much about it that was humorous.
Yeah, I'm flipping through right now. I remember there was a couple times I was like, oh, that was pretty good.
There was one time I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
And it's in the last issue.
Huh.
Where the community of Horder is trying to figure out how to get out of their financial crisis, and because half of the city is unemployed, and
Right.
so they all decide to start working with each other, and hey, this guy makes shirts and this guy makes pants, but they both need the opposite.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk. Yeah.
So they're all trading, and then this guy pops up. I draw amusing pictures. Does anyone have need of my services? And then everybody just laughs.
Yeah.
And so did I. For the first time in this comic.
Oh. That was definitely one of the couple things I was thinking of. Yeah, because the cartoonists in this series are not doing
It also made me think of you.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, not the funniest Groo comic I've ever read, but and that might, like I said, might be because I'm reading it as a 36-year-old man instead of a 12-year-old boy.
Right. I don't know. I can't imagine me at 10 or 12 reading this particular story and finding much about it that was amusing.
Right. Right.
But that just, again, I'm not entirely sure how I thought as a 10 or 12-year-old.
Yeah,
So
right.
I know back then I loved the X-Men, and trying to reread those same issues now is also kind of a chore, so
right.
Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, this is bothersome. I want you to see, it's weird. It's because part of me wants you to go back and read an old Groo book, but then part of me is like, oh my god, maybe I don't want him to, because he'll be like, no, it's just as bad, and I'll have Groo ruined for me forever, because I'm like, damn it! Oh, man. But, on the other end, wasn't the artwork fucking incredible?
Oh yeah, Sarah Jones is great.
Yeah.
He is always great.
I mean, the amount of detail it's like Darrow-esque.
Yeah.
Jeff Darrow.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And I know those out there are familiar. But yeah, I mean, there's all these, one-page splash pages of, people building cities and,
right.
boats and things, and there's, he must have spent...
massive epic battles.
Yeah, with, 100 or 200 characters on each side fighting each other.
But he's so fast.
Yeah. I wonder, I'd like to see some of his original art. Do you think he, loosely pencils stuff, or do you think he just goes to work at it, inking?
I don't know.
Especially since he's drawn Groo for off and on since the early 80s.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but you can also tell that he doesn't really use rulers or anything like that.
Oh, right. Yeah. But that's all part of the charm.
Right, yeah. I mean, no, yeah, I've always loved his artwork. Even, back when, I would hate cartoony things.
Right, but his Mad Magazine.
Well, yeah.
He did the Mad Marginals and all that stuff.
Right, and, I've read some of his, non-Groo stuff that I thought was all hilarious.
Right, when he when he plays on DC and Marvel and Star Wars. And
yeah, like I have the Sergio Massacres Marvel and Sergio Destroys DC, which are great.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It does seem like the kind of book that doesn't really need to be that political unless it is like zany with it.
Right, yeah. I think if they would have been more, sort of sharp with the subject matter, if they would have just, had, maybe some teeth to it, other than just, this is what's happening to us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like Groo's the only, like, cartoon character in the book.
Right.
And everything else is just, like, a reflection of our world, like, exaggerated, uncaricatured.
Right. I mean, there's a little bit, but not enough.
Right.
Like the owners of the carriage manufacturers, who dance around because they're going to be able to keep their high salaries.
Right.
That's cartoonish. Not entirely.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that
they danced around. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just it's if you're gonna tell this type of politicized story, and what is genuinely considered to be a comedy, comic,
right?
You need to have your teeth out for that, and this really didn't feel like it did,
right? Yeah, I wonder if it. I mean, it kind of seems like it kind of reminded me of the '60s underground comics, sort of. Like, not only does Sergio's style has it always reminded me of that, but because they're they are being political, but those underground comics from the '60s did have like a much more like crazy or like you said, biting style to them,
right?
So it did work a lot better. It almost seems like these fellas are in their advanced years. Like, sure. Maybe there's like, let's be hip and like poke fun at the man,
right?
But not too hardcore,
right? Yeah. And I mean, when you do get older, you do get a little more conservative, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly also there's just things wrong with the world, and all they're doing is pointing it out that there are things wrong with the world. They're not really, not that I would look to them for solutions or anything like that, but at least,
right.
Exaggerate it more and just, rip the hell out of it.
Yeah. Because, especially coming from the Mad magazine background.
Right.
Like even Mad, as like rose-colored as you might remember Mad through your rose-colored glasses.
I don't remember anything about Mad because I never read it.
You were a cracked guy.
I was a cracked guy.
But I mean, like, even that, I remember it being a little more, like, I've looked through Mad this year, like, in the last couple months even.
Right.
And it's a little more extreme as far as their satire.
Right.
Than this.
It's like, you have The Daily Show, or The Onion, which tackles, these same subject matters, and within just a short blurb on the internet or a 2-minute segment, on TV, they get a lot more, more skewering.
Right. And more laughs.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a weak effort as far as Groo goes. And you know what? I did notice the cover doesn't have the writer's credit anywhere on any of the covers.
Yeah.
Mark Evanier, is that how you pronounce it?
I would guess, yeah.
When I was a kid, I realized he wrote Garfield, the cartoon.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because he's one of the artists or writers whose name I actually knew, and I remember seeing his name on the credit, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I think he wrote for quite a few cartoons, over the years. But I can't remember any at the time. Well, he's had his hand in almost everything. I think. Yeah. Wasn't he Jack Kirby's assistant for a while?
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I don't know.
You're thinking of Rob Liefeld.
That's right. Yeah, Rob Liefeld was Jack Kirby's assistant. No, he was Mark Vanier was Rob Liefeld's assistant.
That's what it was. It's you always get Kirby and Liefeld mixed up.
That's right, yeah.
Because they built the Marvel Universe.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And they're both so energetic with their drawings and, just reinvented the language of superhero comics.
It's true. That part is true. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, not the best Groo comic I ever read. I had fun, though, because the art was so great, and, like, I've got such a nostalgia for the character that it was fun to read a Groo comic again.
Right.
But it definitely was not amongst my favorite Groo comics. And it didn't really do what I hoped it was going to do, because I'd been so interested in seeing the Groo Conan crossover that I was like, maybe this will satisfy, but I really want to see that Groo Conan crossover.
I still kind of want to see that too, just because, it sounds ridiculous and fun.
Yeah. Like the Archie meets Punisher style.
Right, yeah. And hopefully they wouldn't, try to tackle world issues and that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so, but I guess it could still happen. If that ever happens, I'll probably still check that out. I'm not completely writing Groo off, but at the same time, this was super disappointing.
Yeah, I can see how. I totally agree. If this was the first Groo comic I ever read, I would have been like, I don't understand what the whole hype is, but man, I got to tell you, as a 10-year-old, I thought it was like the funniest thing.
And hey, maybe they are. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe I would read the Death of Groo graphic novel. Maybe I would read something short and self-contained.
Right.
From.
There's a lot of single issue stories too.
Prime Run.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would ever want to read another modern standalone Groo story or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which is sad because I really like Sergio Aragonis.
He's amazing. Amazing.
I was picking up his. Didn't he have a book from Boom or something like that?
It was
just a
Sergio
collection.
Funnies or
Yeah,
something.
that was it. Yeah, I was buying that for a while.
That was
Those
good.
were pretty great.
Yeah.
And, I think he had an issue of the Solo DC Solo.
Oh yeah.
That was also pretty great.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Mark Vanier helped him on most of those too.
I wonder why he's not credited on the cover. Like, was he never credited on the Groo covers? Because I may have not even noticed.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Is it like an Alan Moore thing? Did he after this came out, was he like, take my name off?
Well, he still seems to be working on it, so
Right.
I would guess not. But
yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad.
There.
Not the best.
Sorry.
But worth taking a peek at for the amazing artwork, if nothing else.
If nothing else, there is that, yes.
I will probably put these on eBay.
All right. Oh, then I'm going to warn the future potential eBay purchaser that...
there's a page loose on one of them.
No. It happened the first time I opened this book.
Uh-huh.
But I think in issue 3, there were 2 pages stuck together.
Really?
So I don't know what the hell you were doing.
What? Where was that? I was probably eating peanut butter when I read it. I don't jack off to Groo. I save that for, swimsuit issue Image comics. I'll be honest. We've all done it, people. I mean, you see Voodoo or Jubilee or I don't know.
Not in the
Vogue. Yeah, you see
yeah.
Vogue in a thong. What are you gonna do? You're gonna whip out Mr. Happy and take it out for a ride. No, I didn't notice anything stuck to it.
Well,
I did
probably because I pried them apart, so I could
I did notice a loose page when I was
slog
reading them.
through trying to read this thing.
I will note that in the eBay listing. 2 of the pages may be stuck together. There may be a loose page, and the story might suck. Bidding starts at $1.
Hey, at this point, you need all you can get, right?
That's true. I really do. I really, really do.
All right. Well, sadly, I don't have much else to say about this.
Oh yeah, I think we're done talking about this.
Yeah.
It's mediocre. at best.
Yeah. Even like the first issue has a letters column about letters columns.
Oh yeah,
And,
that was kind of interesting.
It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About how, like, in order to get certain mail rates, they had to have so many printed words per issue.
Right.
And they were like, well, if we just have people write in, we don't even have to write those words,
Right.
and we can send them out cheaper.
Yeah.
It's like, that's pretty ingenious.
That is pretty ingenious. And that also was sort of, just reflecting on the it is kind of sad that for the most part, modern comics, they've just gotten rid of the letters column.
Right.
I mean, when I was a kid, definitely, like, half the fun was reading the letters columns.
Oh, yeah.
Especially then when I got older and, like, books like Preacher or The Invisibles, where, like, Garth Ennis and Grant Morrison was, like, responding to the letters themselves.
Yeah, the actual writers.
Yeah. I was, thought that was super interesting.
It is cool too. Like, I've read a handful of comics over the years where, you read the letters column and you're reading something, from like 20 years prior, and you see an artist or writer that you like has written to that comic.
Yep.
Like I've seen, like, I know I've seen like a McFarlane letter in like a Superman comic. I'm sure I know I saw like an Adrian Tomini or whatever his name is letter in some small press comic that I read, and like it was just kind of cool, because you're like these guys were reading and writing in, and they're just dumb nerds like us,
right? Or there was like the dumb nerds who just had like letters printed in every issue of like almost every comic.
Right.
It seemed like Uncle Elvis or Rock and Roll Hearst, Augie DeBleek.
Wasn't there a guy that claimed to have at one time had a letter in every comic that was printed?
I'm sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry.
Not the best.
Nope.
Not the best.
All right, well, let's take a break.
All right. We're going to go burn these books.
Make sure you add that to your eBay description.
I'm slightly charred.
That's right.
Hi, welcome back. This is our show called Gutter Trash.
Oh.
Hey. So, what the hell, man?
What?
I don't know. What's up? What's up?
I've been sleepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's kind of warm now.
No,
It was
really.
cool. It was cool the last couple days.
It was cool yesterday.
It was cool a couple days.
It was cool Friday as well.
Yeah.
It was cool today too, though.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like 70.
Yeah.
But no, it's not while I was sleeping.
Oh, why was you sleeping?
Just sleeping.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of math today.
No.
Math makes you sleepy
I
sometimes. A
wasn't
lot of
doing,
numbers.
math, no.
Yeah.
Because I went to bed like 3 and then did not get up till like 1.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and then I sat out in the living room for a while and I worked on some stuff and then I started reading those comics and certainly those put me to sleep very much as well.
All right.
And stopped after issue 2, got some lunch, watched some Battlestar Galactica, and then also just kind of dozed off a little bit and woke up enough to finish the other 2 issues off, which just knocked me right out again. If I don't know if my neighbors were around or not, but they would have heard me after issue 3 say just one more issue
Out loud?
Yep.
You did. Yeah, what if this would have been a 6-issue miniseries instead of a 4-issue?
I would have just not finished reading.
Would you have evil learned it?
I would have even learned it, yeah. I considered it after issue 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't have blamed you. We just got one of those, you know. You got one coming.
So yeah, I'm just super tired. Could be depression, could be poor health, I don't know.
Or the
Combination
combo,
of both.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there may be a third thing, you don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a sleepworm in my brain.
Sleepworms are around,
Yeah.
yeah. In Kettering. It's a big deal in Kettering. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a weird weekend.
Oh,
I did
aliens.
possibly. Yeah. I did. There was like a good couple hours spent in Yellow Springs, so there could have been some alien. No, I did 3 things that I hardly ever do. Friday,
Showered.
I showered. I brushed my teeth.
You worked
And I
somewhere.
wiped my ass. No. No, Friday I went to an art auction. At We Care Arts. I had a piece of art in the auction. Didn't go for a ton of money, but it went for something. There was
Right.
like 3 bids on it, so that was cool.
There you go.
I helped raise a little bit of money for the charity,
And then you got some of that, right?
and I got nothing. They gave no. It was
I
for
mean-
charity. It's for charity,
When I think of charity cases,
right?
I
You think of me?
Yeah.
Well, I did get. What did I get? I got to look at all the artwork. That was
okay.
cool. That was cool. Got to see some cool people I hadn't seen in a while because after I stopped working there.
Right.
But some of the clients were there, and a lot of the staff was there. So that was
Anybody
fun.
from your other place, the place that you quit?
No, none of them were there.
Yeah.
None of them. No. I've talked to one guy that works at the other place, the place I quit, and
Well, he's the guy that
he's
applauded you.
yeah.
Yeah.
He actually wants to hang out sometime. So he wants to go shoe shop. Or we were gonna go shoe shopping together
That's
because
weird.
well, I needed shoes for that job.
Right.
And I told him, I was like, I need to go shoe shopping sometime. And he's like, I'll go with you when I still worked there.
Right.
But now afterwards, he's like, yeah, if you want to go shoe shopping sometime, just, give me a call.
You can't afford
I'm
shoes.
I don't need shoes anymore. Yeah.
You have no reason to wear shoes anymore.
Yeah. I'm barefoot right now. So no, that was
Which is
cool.
really a thing I wanted to talk to you about.
In the studio, at least, should
Get out of my house. At least socks. Come on.
Oh, I love it when sometimes I'm barefoot at the house and my dog just walks up and starts licking my toes.
That's gross.
It feels really cool. There were some cool skateboards though, including there was a skateboard by the guy that did my Galactus tattoo.
Nice.
Mr. Mike Guidone at Monkey Bones Tattoo, and his was awesome. And then there was one that a guy in California, a tattoo artist, coated the skateboard with some sort of fake skin, like latex, like a super high quality Halloween mask style latex. And then he freaking tattooed the thing with a tattoo gun as if it was human flesh, and it looks amazing. Like, it looks like somebody's back tattoo, like a really expensive giant tattoo.
That's weird.
It was really weird. I touched it. There was a sign that said "Do not touch," and I made sure nobody was looking. And I kind of rubbed my finger on a non-tattooed part of it because some of it was still like flesh color. Right. So I just kind of rubbed that, and it was creepy. It felt like the inside of an animal, or like a kind of like a latex mask sort of. But yeah, it was weird.
So it was all skateboards.
Yeah. Well, no, there was 20 skateboards, and that was like the highlight of the auction. Okay. But they had all kinds of other stuff too. Right. But that was like the big thing that they had lined on the walls, and
So somebody out there is going to be skateboarding on somebody's back tattoo.
I'd imagine none of these will ever be skateboarded on, because first of all, none of them have wheels and trucks and all that.
Sure, you go down to your local skate shop.
You can do it. Yeah. You can do it, but if you spend over $1,000, that one went for over $1,000. If somebody does that, they're probably not gonna ride down a handrail on it. But yeah, that was fun. And I had a zombie dog. I'd never had a zombie dog. They had the food cart out back. It's a food cart that travels all over Dayton. And they have like 5 different kinds of specialty hot dogs. And you can get a vegan version of it. Okay. So that's what I did.
All right.
Yeah. But I'd heard a lot about it. But
I've heard of it. I'm not going to eat anything that I associate with rotting.
It was tasty. I had what they call the sliced and diced, which the ingredients were spinach, goat cheese, sliced almonds, and pears. It was really good. And then, so that was Friday. And then Saturday...
Hot dogs. You go to Speedway. You get them off the roller. And you put your ketchup and your mustard on it, and that's a hot dog. You're done.
There's no pears almonds or goat cheese.
And then you don't refer to it as something that is generally known to rot and eat human flesh.
Well, they got to sell some dogs somehow. It was good. It was really good. And I think they think of it, like whenever a fancy restaurant serves steak and someone asks for ketchup, like they don't even have like ketchup and mustard where you can. And relish where you can
they can go fuck themselves, because steak is something different. Hot dogs are the trash of food.
But not by the zombie dog people.
They are the trash of food. I say this as someone who will eat a hot dog. They are the trash of food.
But the vegan one's probably not.
Should be. Yeah. It should be the trash of vegan food.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a gourmet fucking hot dog. It is
I don't know.
pigtails and intestines.
But like gourmet style.
The trash of food.
I don't know if they actually use the moniker gourmet. They might. But, yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah. And then Saturday I went to a wedding. And it was an outdoor wedding. And it was like, I was like, oh, what should I wear? And Kathleen was like, well, they've specifically said just wear like jeans and t-shirts and sneakers if you want. They're like, it's not a fancy one. And all the bridesmaids and even the bride were wearing cowboy boots. And like the preacher had like a bow tie, and like he almost kind of looked like he stepped off the set of what's that Western that everybody likes with Swear Engine? The guy, I don't know. But yeah, it was like it was like old timey kind of country-ish. And then like the reception was in a barn. So, and I actually heard during the reception, I heard a woman yell at her child, "Quit jiggling my fat!" I actually heard that. That happened. And it wasn't like a playful thing. It was like a yelling thing. So that was cool. And then today I went to a baby shower, from, out in Fairborn. My friends Michelle and Tracy.
They don't live in Fairborn.
Well, no, but, they had to go to Fairborn.
Oh, okay.
They went to one of their mom's houses for their baby shower, yeah. But,
I don't even know them that well, and I know they don't live in Fairborn.
And that was fun. That was cool. There was like, a few dudes there. I mean, it's a baby shower, but it's obviously non-traditional. It's a lesbians couples baby shower, so some dudes were allowed to be there, and I was one of those dudes. And there was like
Well, you're like half a lesbian anyway.
I am. I'd go even 3/4 really these days. And yeah, we played some like party games and had some free food, and it was cool. It was cool. And I've known Michelle's mom forever because me and Michelle have been friends since the early '90s. And I saw her today, and she comes in Mavericks every Christmas and says like, "What should I get for Michelle?" And I usually point her towards like a Batman black and white statue because Michelle collects like Batman and stuff. And she was like, "So how's the bookstore going?" I was like, "Oh, I actually quit." And she literally like almost fell over. She like grabbed the kitchen counter and she like looked at me not smiling with her mouth agape. She's like, "What?" Because she's known me like almost since I started working there.
I thought you were going to say she was like holding something and then she like let it crash to the ground and told you to get out.
But I did tell her, I was like, "You have my number," because her daughter has my number, and I said, "Call me this Christmas season. I will go with you to Mavericks or wherever, and we will shop for Michelle." So I'm gonna go Christmas shopping with her.
I would imagine that Booker Fantasy is closer for her, right?
Well, no, she lives off of Linden Avenue.
Oh, okay.
So probably Bellbook's probably closer.
Linden, it's
Yeah, it's about the same.
50-50,
Yeah.
Mavericks and that other place.
Right.
Yeah. Which I have been shopping at.
Wait, and they honestly would probably have more of the kind of thing that she's looking for.
Right.
So I'll go whichever. Either way.
Well, you're pals with a Pete Bell.
Yeah, I get along with Pete Bell.
I saw him multiple times last weekend. I think I talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I went in on Wednesday to buy a comic.
I actually went to Mavericks this week and bought comics for the first time in like 5 weeks. It had been since I've been there.
You can't afford that.
Well, I used the rest of my store credit.
Oh, okay.
I spent it all up. I did have to spend a few dollars extra, but
Was Jack there?
No, he was not. I went at like 6 o'clock at night. So, but I did have like 6 different people go. So, hey, how's the new job going? And like instead of like, because I was like, I don't want to. Like if I ran into one of them at Kroger or something,
Sure.
I would be like, if it was somebody I like got along with, I would tell them. But I knew that doesn't happen over and over, so I was just like, hey, I got to tell you, I've never been happier. And like they were like, that's awesome.
Were these customers or like the employees there?
One employee and like 5 customers. Yeah. But yeah, I said the same thing to all of them.
So, how far in disarray? Not that it would be easy to tell, but how far in disarray has that store fallen?
I noticed a couple things that I specifically always tried to never let happen that have been happening. but you know what? Like they're doing their best.
Like how far has Magic spread into the comics and sports section?
I don't think it got into the Magic or into the comic section, but there was a couple things that were just very distressing. Like first of all, like one of my pet peeves was always like keeping that Silver Age wall filled because we've got fucking tons of Silver Age that we don't have room for on the wall. Right. So like once a week I would like fill that up, and there was like a good like 40 holes in the wall where, and
it means people are buying or stealing Silver Age books.
Right. So that's good, but maybe the most alarming thing that I saw is like it reminded me of a few years ago. There was this record store that I loved called Gym City Records.
Yeah,
and like they kind of like started turning into like a mall store where they sold like Angus Young action figures and like ZZ Top shot glasses. And which is whatever, it's still related, but I just want to find records when I go in a record shop.
Yeah, but nobody else does.
Exactly. Well, fuck all of those people. No, but I was looking in the toy case at Mavericks, and there was like a dozen shot glasses, including one with a giant pot leaf on it. And I was like, so Jeremy, when did you guys start selling pot leaf shot glasses? He was like, yeah. We got it in a collection, and we just figured we'd try to sell it. And I was like, that seems kind of weird.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know we've had comics like that had marijuana,
right? Yeah.
And like Fat Freddy's Cat and all that, but Freak Brothers. But yeah, that was just a little weird.
Huh. All right. I'm surprised Jack has let that go.
He probably doesn't know what it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
The shot glass or the pot leaf?
Well, he probably knows what a shot glass is.
I would assume he does.
He probably thinks the pot leaf is like an Ohio State Buckeyes shot glass or something. Which is fine.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, that was a little odd.
I've not stepped foot in there since you quit.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd been in there a couple times while I was working at my other job, but after I quit that, I was just like, I don't have any money.
Right.
But there was a couple books that I wanted that I knew, like one of them came out, while I was still working at the other job, and I just didn't make it in to pick it up, and they were holding them for me, so I was like, I gotta use my store credit, and both of those books are probably things I'll end up picking for the show, so I was like, it's worth going in.
I've been to GameSwap, which is just down the way there, and had numerous gnats fly into my throat while hanging out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is that like a game like like if you catch a gnat you get a free like
I get a free water
laser disc or
to
something?
wash it down.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something, right? Do they give you a quarter to put in their Miss Pac-Man machine or anything? No. Ah. Man. Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, it is. They are infested with gnats at GameSwap.
That's too bad. I meant to stop in there, but I didn't have time.
You should go and eat some gnats.
I'm vegetarian.
Just while you're talking.
Is it like Zombie Dog? Can you get a vegan substitute?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're vegan gnats.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So that was my weird weekend.
Alright.
Yeah. Now it's back to the grind, man. Tomorrow's Monday.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna.
Fuck you.
Oh. Yeah.
I have continued to work late a couple times this past week, which I guess makes up for the fact that I was on vacation last weekend.
Right.
I didn't get home till about 7 on Friday, so my friend Amanda and I were gonna hang out, and because I had worked late Thursday, and I kind of just assumed that I would get off early on Friday.
Right.
Instead, I worked 2 hours later, so when she came over, I said I need a drink, so I drank
Like
like alcohol, yeah.
like an adult beverage.
An adult beverage. Which I usually, I drank a little when I was in Indianapolis, but it's not something I usually do, especially in Dayton.
Right.
Because I could easily fall into the trap of just drinking all the time.
There's a lot of people in Dayton that do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I could easily be one of them, but I choose not to. But Friday, I needed one.
What'd you have?
I had a rum and coke, and then I switched to we went to a Mexican restaurant for dinner, so I had a Dos Equis.
Nice.
As a giant
The chalice, right? Yeah.
Which physically hurts to lift.
Oh wow. Even when it's empty, is it one of those?
When it was empty, it was fine.
Okay.
But I've got problems with my wrists as
Right.
it is. It would hurt to lift, and Amanda took a sip of it, and she commented on the weight of the beer.
It's funny that you said you had a rum and coke because at the barn reception for the wedding, they had a bar, free alcohol, and I went up to it.
Always nice.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna have one drink, but I went up there and I was like, and it was like a lady I knew. It was like one of Kathleen's friends, and so I was like, I'm not sure I want. She's like, you want a rum and coke? And I was like, that sounds good. Hold the coke. And so she gave me like a half a glass of rum, and that's what I drink with my meal. It was pretty good.
Reminds me of wasn't Joe's wedding? Joe G wasn't his wedding? Didn't they have a free bar?
They may have.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I got super drunk,
Right.
but I know I just got super drunk on beer because I thought I couldn't have anything other than beer for free.
That's right.
And then somebody told me
It was all free.
after the night was over that it was all free.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Well, yeah, super bummer. So I'm not a huge beer guy. I
Right.
prefer a mixed drink or just regular liquor.
I forget what Kathleen. She had like a vodka and Sprite and cranberry. It was
That sounds tasty.
yeah. I could go for one of those right now.
Well, I could too.
I ain't got a job. I should be drinking.
All right. It's early enough.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sure, why not?
I got nothing else to do. I got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, I guess I should pick a movie and we'll go get trashed.
I mean, the only new development in my life is I've picked a new theme month for my Sketch a Day blog, so if anybody wants to give me some suggestions, go to my blog, seanboard.net.
Yeah.
And B, I have been watching the shit out of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. I think the last 2 times I came over, it was on.
Yeah. I enjoy that show. I wish everybody would speak up in it.
Oh.
They whisper a lot.
Is it one of those, like, the action scenes are loud, but the dialogue is low?
No.
Just the people talking is low.
No, I mean, even the action scenes aren't that loud.
Maybe you should just turn your TV up.
I did. They're all whispering.
Oh, okay.
Every conversation is a whisper.
It's a big
Every
secret.
intense conversation is a whisper.
Is it a secret they're having?
Maybe it's a secret. The entire 4 seasons is a secret.
They just don't want anybody to catch wind.
They just don't want Cylons to hear.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Pick a movie.
I'm going to pick a movie called The Exchange.
Never heard of it.
What does that mean?
I've never heard of it.
Does that mean you're vetoing it?
Tell me a little bit about it. Tell me an actor.
If I tell you anything about it, you're going to veto it.
Then veto.
No, I don't know any of the actors that are in it. I really don't. All I know is it's by a director of another movie called The Band's Visit that I saw earlier this year that was awesome. I just really liked it. It reminded The Band's Visit. I forget what country the director's from. It's a foreign movie, but it was like it was very like Coen Brothers-ish. It was just like weird, but like it had some depth to it, but it also had like just weird, quirky characters. And it was just really well written, and I know he has one other movie called The Exchange. And I was like, yeah.
Alright.
I don't know much about it, I really don't.
Alright. Well, I guess we're watching that then.
Alright. Don't get too excited.
I'm not. Clearly I'm not.
Yeah.
Alright then.
Sweet.
The Exchange.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright.
We'll see you next time.
That thing, yeah. Hey, this is Eric, letting you know that the movie Jason picked does not exist on Netflix. We looked it up, and there is indeed a movie called The Exchange available on Netflix, but it is not the movie he was thinking of. The movie he was thinking of is an Iranian film that is unavailable by conventional means. So Jason has made a past last minute choice of the film Hammett by Wim Wenders. I am looking forward to this documentary / biopic about Metallica guitarist Kirk Hammett in ways that you cannot believe. Hammett by Wim Wenders. That will be our next film. Until then, see you next time. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.